What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
Good. I'm hiding from my kids as usual. They're sleeping, so I gotta find like a quiet room. It's weird.
Yeah,
It's
it
weird to
looks like
be a
you're in a
prisoner.
cellar.
It's weird to be a prisoner in your own home. But this is the reality.
Yeah.
Nice.
Glad
You
I
guys
could
have you
hop
guys
in,
been
though.
going? Have you guys been going in order?
Yeah,
Yes.
I just finished up basically.
Sick.
I just explained to them that the sample I got it from House Shoes.
Oh,
And
crazy!
I don't know if you know that.
No.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, he worked at this record store, or he would have this shift at record store, and he'd buy a bunch of records. And one day he told me, he's like, "Hey, I'm selling my records. Like, I got doubles and a bunch of stuff. You should come through." So I just picked through his record collection and just picked out some stuff, and that was one of the records.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
didn't know Kingsway had their stuff pressed. I thought they just like did the digital sample pack stuff.
yeah, it was weird. People thought that I got it from like a pack from like Drum Broker or something. I'm like, no, man, I have the record. Yeah, it's just and River Tiber's playing on that record.
Oh, crazy.
He hit me up and was like, "Hey, that's me."
That's
So,
sick.
uh,
You did all the like the record player effect.
yeah, I was telling them that when I bring in samples, sometimes I'll cut it in, like I'll scratch it in, and that's why it sounds like all the record scratches in there, and that's why like it ramps up on the one, like,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, a lot of details that make it feel raw, make it feel right.
yeah. And it's like, honestly, it's like one of the only beats that I ever really had in that year. That's just straight out the MPC, not really anything added to it. So
Dope.
it has that good rawness vibe to it.
Yeah.
Hmm. I feel like that's probably that's intentional, but like all that have that,
Hmm.
Absolutely.
right? Like if you listen to them, they all have that very classic, raw, beat machine, beat vibe. So
Well, it for me. It felt good to have these moments on the album because there's some experimentation on the album. So it felt good to have these moments where it's like
mm.
back to the raw.
almost
Yeah,
like grounding.
yeah. It's like let's get back to the raw, and the real thing. Like, yeah, you can hear the record sounds. You can hear the sound of the MP. Like it feels like doesn't just like feel like hip hop. Like this is hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely gives the record a foundation.
Yep.
Well, I think I think all three parts too. I don't know if this was intentional on your part, Shad, but it seems to me like they do a good job of like it's like the album is kind of up here and they kind of just emerge to like remind you this is how this all ties together, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like exploring the theme a little more generally than each of the the parts that are
Yeah.
represented in the songs. And I thought it was really really fun. It's funny you guys are talking about how all the beats sound like they're like classic hip hop beats, because it's funny, I spend a lot of time with the like in Reason trying to make my stuff sound like it comes out of an MPC or whatever, like trying to make it sound authentic. If you could put it that way. So I'm like, I have a folder of tape noise and vinyl noise and like all that kind of stuff that I add on top of every track because I just, it doesn't feel right unless I unless that's there. But
Dusty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Break yours down. I see you got this
Yeah.
in there.
I need to hear
Yeah.
this. This is the only reason why I'm here. I need to know. Because like you were someone I never even heard of before. And then when the record came out, Shad, yeah, I heard it and I hit up Shad and I'm like, who the hell did TAO Part 3? I need to know, who is this guy? I like, because I saw that you were putting down like you went track by track, who did what, and yeah, and this was something that I've always been curious.
Yeah. Well, I have fully embraced, you might say, the sample pack splice drum broker world. I've pretty well gone headfirst into it. And so everything from the beat is from a pack or is from splice or something. The drums are from this this break record that Dambu the Fudge Monk put out, covering the title, Breaks with Mistakes, on Redefinition Records. I think it's the first break on side A. So I recorded it in. My turntable is broken right now. I don't know what happened, but it's definitely not working, sadly. But yeah, I recorded it into Reason here. You know, oh, where am I? And then I have a similar snare that you were talking about with the clap in it. The kick, the shaker is in there. The main sample is from this company called Soul Surplus. They were recently acquired by Splice, but I'm friends with one of the guys who founded the company, a producer named Wes Pendleton. Super dope music. But really nice, you know, soulful stuff.
Lush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've made a couple other beats out of this too. It's super nice. I'd play the whole thing, but it's like, I don't know, it's a few minutes long. But and then I took these vocal chops from another producer named Pat Jr. And I think, Shad, you've done some stuff with Pat, right?
Yep. North Carolina.
He has a company called Pelham Jr. And so these little kind of vocal, I don't know if you can hear that. These kind of vocal chunks I took out of there. And basically I just chopped up from the stems of the Soul Surplus sample, added my tape noise, and there's a little after the song kind of came together. I don't know if you remember, Shad, but basically you told me to, if I remember correctly, you told me to just like add some stuff, do some drops, like produce it a little more. And so I put the break record back on, and I just did a couple of I recorded a couple of scratch sounds into the into Reason, and I added those into the drums at certain points, and yeah, this is the beat that came out of it. Funny story about it. The beat was originally like 94 BPM or something. It was like completely different. And I had some other percussion in there as well. And when Shad and I connected, I sent him a folder of stuff, and you basically said that the album was done, so I probably wasn't gonna get anything on there. But but you said if you want to take a crack at something around 70, what do you say, like 77 BPM, there might be something. And I didn't have time, and I didn't really come up with anything. But then you messaged me and asked if I could slow down that 95 BPM beat to 70. I was like, I can try. But then it turned out like I was not expecting it to sound good at all, but it turned out like crazy. So really, Shad kind of produced this song as well.
I definitely didn't
told me what to do.
I definitely didn't produce it, but it was nearly done. Like, so once you sent it to me at that tempo, and then I cut I already had the vocals, I think.
Yeah, you had it recorded to a different beat, I think. And
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear what you recorded it to.
I recorded it to TAO Part 1.
Oh, man.
I wanted it to feel the same, but TAO Part 1 was already done, right? TAO Part 1 was already done. So I was thinking, like, okay, well, I could end the album like this, but I need another track. And I was looking for something to connect with you on, because I liked your stuff. I'm like, we got to find one. And I was like, what about if you just slowed this one down? It had the right feeling. It had the right feeling. It's just everything I wanted to say, I couldn't say it at the tempo you had.
Yeah.
You know?
So then, okay. So then, how did you guys meet? How did this happen?
We'd met a few times in Edmonton at shows.
Yeah, in Edmonton and Saskatoon. I think I've seen you a couple times in Saskatoon too. I think did I just like send you a message?
And you sent me a message, and it was one of those ones where it's like, let's try to figure, let's try to get one. And then it ended up making a lot of sense. I wasn't sure if I was going to end the album like that. With that, I didn't have a thing.
Yeah,
and then,
man.
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say the way you ended it was perfect. It was like it's like a champion song almost. It's
Yeah.
You sent me home happy.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's just the right vibe to end on, Just the right vibe, the right energy. And like now I can't picture the album without it. But like you said, like it was done, like every other song was finished.
Yeah. Both you and G were like, the album's done, but you could send some beats.
Yeah, now I can't picture it. Now I can't picture the album without it. But that was the last song on the album, and it was the last one to be done. It was the last one to be done. Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Trying to think of anything else process-wise. I mean, T and I would get together throughout the album process, like, every week or two and work on stuff. So he was privy to the whole thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, the greater album process you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking like, yeah, like T is privy to like the whole thing pretty much. From my sense, yeah, like got a bunch of Newselph beats and was like, yeah, let me try to, if it can work, let me try to make one work. And then Tools, you sent me a whole bunch of stuff too. You sent me a SoundCloud link with some monster tracks on there, and that one. It's funny how picking beats works. It's like that one was the one that was like so right for the album, but I still remember some monsters on there that I don't know what. I'll probably bug you to hear them again next album time, like see what's still available, because you had done a bunch of stuff with Rob Capoletto on guitar.
Yep. Yeah, we got more stuff too nowadays. But yeah, you're right. Like it was. I did like a bundle, what I call it, like a 2020 bundle pack or something. And there was like 30 beats in there.
Yeah,
Crazy.
There were some monsters in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then T and I actually finished a few songs, but they weren't like earlier in the process, but they didn't really fit with the theme as the album was progressing. But we got a few.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really happy that I was able to do a joint with you where you just, there's no hook really. It's just rapping. Those are my favorite kind of songs. As much as I love a good hook, I also just love a good old just bars and like, but yeah, like there's bars and then there's like ways of you rapping too. Like you have a way of making it seem like it's deeper than that. I don't know. So it's always something to work with you because you never know what the hell you're gonna do. What I wanted to know from you though is that something you wrote for the record that when you did for this? Because I know that the Magic track you had it for a couple of years prior to the Magic song.
Yeah, that's interesting. Actually, yeah, both of those songs that I did with you actually were songs that either the lyrics or the concept I had for a long time, but there was but it didn't have a home yet, or I couldn't quite get it perfect. Like Magic as a concept, I've had that since like '08, but didn't have the right place for it. And then it came together with that beat just had the right mood, and I'm like, this is it. I'm gonna do it with this one. And then those lyrics for TAO Part 2, I adjusted them, but I'd actually written a lot of that years ago too. But it's bang on for this album, like conceptually.
And then who was who recorded the TAO reading again?
Oh, that reading is from The Abolition of Man by C.S. Lewis, and that's G's wife.
Yeah.
That's my G's wife. With the British accent. That's right.
Yeah.
That just makes everything sound like archival. You know what I mean?
Official.
Archival.
Yeah,
man.
You know? It's like that should be in the sample pack too. It's just like British reading. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I want. Definitely needs to have some sample packs of some British reading. That'd be great.
Just like someone reading like the encyclopedia with like a British accent.
Yeah.
And it would sell.
It would.
It would.
That's an idea.
We got to do it. That's what we got to do. That's our get rich scheme. Get rich scheme. We'll hit up.
Even like an authentic one.
What's her name again?
Neha.
That's it. Yeah.
You could do a fake British accent
perfect,
too. That's
man. It's perfect for like interludes, intros. You know what I mean? Just it should be like the dictionary.
Or hear me out.
Yeah.
We'll get a Cameo account for her. And
then, Neha's here. She's down.
Yeah. We'll do happy birthdays. Oh, okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's do
Let's
it.
do it. Let's do it.
No, but that definitely made the track like so
Yeah.
much, so official and hit
Yeah.
harder. The
Yeah.
whole album has so much meaning in it, and then like it's great to have like an album that really encompasses almost like your entire career,
Yeah.
kind of like your experiences into this one whole big ass record. Like it's my favorite one from you. And
Thanks, man.
TSOL is like actually like, you know, that has a lot to do with my history too. So
Yeah.
it's wild that, you know, I feel really close with that one, but this one is definitely it's everything I wanted from you. An
Thanks, man.
album.
Yeah, it came together the easiest. I'll say that of any album I've worked on, which I think is a good sign. And yeah, all these like little details from the stuff, you know, that you guys are talking about with the beats to like Neha's vocals, it's like they all matter, you know? Like they all matter to the picture, to the track. Like Neha's an artist too, so she has that depth to her vocal presence, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like all these things and the record sounds and the fact that, you know, coming out of the MP with that processing, it's like all of them. I forget who it was that said like producing is making decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like all those decisions, all those details, like they matter to how it feels in the end.
Yeah, man. It's definitely like, I mean, all your projects have purpose. I guess
Yeah.
that's the one thing that they all have in common. But yeah, it just yeah, like this one's no different.
Word. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got to get back downstairs somehow without waking up my kids.
All right, man.
Much love, y'all.
Happy 1 year anniversary for
Happy
your
1
project. I
year.
believe it's been a year.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And to you guys, I'll let you get back to the Posado's
Right.
place of it all.
All right, man. Easy.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Hey.